All right. Happy Saturday, all my theater friends out there. This is Katrina Frye with Mischief Managed, coming to you COVID-19 style from my house. Um, yeah, bundled up. I can't believe it's all happening. We are on house arrest, but I think this is a great way to still connect. I really hope that I can give you guys some nuggets for your future careers, and hopefully we'll meet in person one day. You can follow me at Mischief Managed Arts if you want to know more. But I just want to take a moment to thank Center Theater Group and Camille and her team, and really happy to be doing this virtually or not. I worked for Center Theater Group years ago, and I got to meet a lot of incredible college students and high school students. And I hope that this is just furthering the mission and the idea that we're all in this together. And really, there's not a handbook on what you guys are hoping to do with your career. There's 100 ways to get there. So sometimes that can be really overwhelming. So instead of being overwhelmed, I thought I'd give you some quick tips and tricks to be 100% that boss. Since right now, as an artist, you're pretty much an entrepreneur. So further ado, I'm going to switch over to my slides. So it's going to be my voice. I'll be here, but you're going to see my slides. So really, I love the internet. It's all cool because perfect, great, wonderful. Okay, so this is the virtual college and career fair, hashtag virtual style, COVID-19, stay sanitary, stay safe, stay inside. So coming to you from Center Theater Group's YouTube page. My name's Katrina Frye, and I'm super excited to be presenting to you guys some quick tips and tricks called 100% That Boss, because shout out to Lizzo, of course, but you just really want to have your boss hat on when you're going into your career right now. There's really a long line of people trying to get agents and representation. So before you get there, you really have to do your work and be the best boss you can be. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I have a bachelor's degree in visual arts, and then I went back to Claremont Graduate here in Los Angeles and got my master's degree in arts management. I've been working in nonprofits for about 10 years, music industry specifically for 10 years. I've been in LA for 7 or 8 years, but really I've owned my own business and had to be my best boss to myself for the last 3 or 4 years. So that's where I'm gonna be pulling all this advice from. So if anything doesn't resonate with you, throw it out the window. If it does, dig into it, because this is some free advice, my friend. You might be wondering, I'm just an artist. I'm just a theater kid. I'm not really an entrepreneur. I don't have a business. You're wrong. In today's day and age, if you're an artist, you're an entrepreneur. So kind of embrace it. Go with me if you will. I'm going to show you some stuff on why I think that's the case and why actually you're best suited to be your own entrepreneur. And it's really okay to use business words and to be that business person, because if you're an artist, you're hustling, you're freelance, you have to be your own CEO also. So today we're going to talk about building your brand, your momentum, and your connections. For your brand, sometimes it can be bizarre to say, I'm a brand ambassador, or my brand's cool, you should dig in. It's kind of weird, but it's happening. And I want to kind of pull it back a little bit, because when we think about brands, we think about these logos, right? Apple, H&M, Zara, Visa, credit cards, lots of cool brands on here. But one thing that also happens, other than just seeing a logo, you start to get a feeling. So when I see KFC, I think of like growing up and having KFC chicken with my grandma. I'm thinking Kleenex I see on here. Just like when I have a runny nose, I want to use the good stuff, right? It makes me feel something when I see these brand logos. So really, brand is just a tool to visually, emotionally, and physically represent what you believe in. So when I was talking about Kleenex, they believe that they are really solving a problem when it comes to runny noses. So what's the problem you are solving? That's all that branding is. It's a representation and a way to show what you believe in, the problems you're solving, and how you want to be perceived visually, emotionally, and physically. If you build it, will they come? If you start to build up a brand, will people start to buy in? Yes, they will. They will follow your lead because first you have to build it before anyone can buy into it. So a lot of people feel like, yeah, this branding thing didn't work for me. No one even believes it. Actually, you have to believe it first. You have to build it. You have to make a lot of intentional decisions and figure out, okay, when I walk into a room, what color do I want people to think about? What feeling do I want them to think about? When I leave a room, how do I want to be remembered? Those are all part of your brand. Why do you need a brand? Before you make any decisions to sign anything, any contracts that you're hopefully going to be signing within the next couple years of your life, any decisions, any collaborations, it should all align with your brand. You shouldn't just be saying yes because there's money or saying yes because you want to feel famous. It actually all should align with your brand and your values. And then it really helps you separate your brain and your personal life. And a lot of us, our face is our brand. So it's kind of tough when people are like, I don't like it. I don't want to be a part of it. You could go home and cry about it and be like, people don't like me. Or you could really just toughen up and be like, oh, they're talking about my brand. So that's this part of who I am and what I've put out, but it's not personal. And that's really, really helped me. The easiest way to think about it is that branding, when we're talking about branding, that's the timeless part. You're really the core value of who you are versus your marketing. That's the trend. So my friend Beyonce here, she is a brand. She's always going to be Beyonce. She might market on Instagram and show us a preview of lemonade, but she's always going to be Beyonce. So those are the two different things when we are moving forward, just to really wrap your head around and think of them in two different buckets. You need a brand to go to market, but you can't market unless you have a brand, okay? So one quick way to try this at home today, right now, where you are, I hope you have a notebook. I would take some time to really ask yourself these three questions. What do I stand for? How do I want to be remembered? And how do people describe my art? Sorry. How do people describe my art? How do people describe my art? How do I want to be remembered? And what do I stand for? Moving forward. So now that we feel like you have a brand, okay, I know who I am, I know what I stand for, then you want to start to get momentum and movement. A lot of people feel like, okay, I know the brand looks good, this logo looks good, I look bigger than I am on socials, it's all moving. I just want to also peel back that idea and really tell you that the work comes first. So what story do you have to tell that people can even buy into? What's your story? Why are you a freshman theater major at UCLA? I hope that's you. What's your perspective specifically? Do you come from a farming town in the middle of California? Do you come from Boyle Heights in Los Angeles? What's your perspective? What are you known for? Can you beatbox? Can you skateboard? What is the best parts of you? And are you able to showcase that in a high quality? Those are some really big questions you want to think through when you're talking about your work and how you want to showcase your work. Because really your work is your product, right? So figuring out how to best showcase that, it's going to take time. And sometimes trial and error is going to be in there, and that's totally okay. For me, it comes down to being able to tell people really quickly my pitch. And this is how I market myself. And I say, hey, my name is, yes, I know it's silly, but we always forget our name. And I am a blank artist. My work explores that. And that's where you put in really your story and why it explores that. How does it explore it? Because, right? Answer those two questions in the middle. That's your sandwich, the meat right there. And then tell people how they can purchase, engage, or follow you. and why they should be following you, right? So really quickly, this is like the party starter for me. Any party I go to, anytime I'm going to head to the theater, I know I'm going to be meeting up with friends. I know that I'm going to be meeting new people, industry contacts. I'm going to an audition. People are going to ask me, oh, who are you? What do you do? I really want to know these three little buckets. And it's something I rehearse as an introvert, alone in a room. I just go into that space and I just really rehearse what I want to say, because the way that you can tell a story really quickly is the quickest way to be remembered and for people to really succinctly know, okay, cool, I know who you are. I know what you're about. Don't forget that branding and being a boss is online and offline. So just as important that you have a really professional email, you answer your emails, you have a professional website, you're on all the platforms you're supposed to be on, Backstage, IMDb, social medias, YouTube, Vimeo, don't Venmo. And then make sure offline that you have business cards or resume or headshot or reels. Are you ready to give a proposal if someone wants to work with you? Do you know how much your value or your worth is? Be ready to network offline and make sure that you have space to work and you have the gear you need. Okay. So that's really, really important to make sure you're thinking about both sides. Consistency is key about everything I'm saying. So I looked at my friend Brett Gray here from the Netflix show On My Block, and I love that really quickly I went onto his YouTube, his Instagram, and his personal website, and I felt like I knew him. I felt like there wasn't a lot of barriers to entry. There wasn't a lot of, oh, and once I was da-da-da, he just went right into it. Great photos on every single platform. And I loved all of his behind the scenes stuff on his YouTube. So really thinking through, making sure that all platforms represent who you are. They don't have to be super fabulous. They just have to be you. So try this at home. Where is my artwork currently on display? Can people get involved? And do people know my story? Think these through, friends. Where is my artwork on display? Can people get involved? Can they click follow? Can they get on an email list? How can they get involved with you? And do people know my story? Make sure on all those platforms that you're going to be on, people know your story. Finally, I want to talk about your connections. It's the work. Serious. You should be researching opportunities all the time. Really discover your fit. So when you look at opportunities, don't say reply all, right? Figure out the 4 auditions or the 4 places your work should be. Don't wait to create. I've talked to a lot of young students that are just like, oh, I'm waiting to get this part. I'm waiting to get this audition. Take a page out of Mindy Kaling's book or Issa Rae's book and really create the role you want to be in. Both of those fierce women went to the YouTubes and just made a series because they saw that no one was casting them and they knew they had something to offer. So figure out how you're positioning and pitching yourself and make sure that the creation's already out there. Don't wait for somebody to make it for you, and always be ready, right? So you finally get to that party or you meet that industry contact. The worst thing that breaks my heart every time I hear someone saying, oh, my website's not ready. Oh, I don't have a business card. Oh, I don't have my headshots ready. Oh yeah, I'll talk to you about that later. It's not ready. Be ready, folks. You never know who you're going to meet. You're never going to know what fans you're going to create. Especially getting involved with Center Theater Group, you're going to meet industry people that want to be your fans, that want to cheer you on or make sure that you get to where you need to be in your career. Be ready. Few people who helped me get ready. Advisors. They may seem like old people who know nothing, but all of those gray hairs actually build up into wonderful, huge contributors who know how to advocate for you. Later, sometimes these turn into agents. Maybe they're actually going to procure work for you and land you a job. But before that, you really need to get advisors and people in your corner that buy into you. The quickest way to do that is when you have like a website or a reel or a headshot and you want some feedback, send it to people you really admire. Collaborators, make sure that you are ready to collaborate. The best way to collaborate is to find someone who has the gear, right? So you don't have an audition space, or you don't have the stage, you don't have the camera. Someone does, and I bet they need to also build up their portfolio, and they need to get some work. So figure out how you can trade and barter so that you guys can both work together. Always think about your audience. Don't just create to create. Don't just throw tons of stuff out there. If you're going to create on Instagram TV, know that it has to be short and sweet and sassy. TikTok, make sure you know what's happening on there, versus creating for a small film festival. It's completely different audiences. So make sure you always know your audience. And finally, 3 last questions for you to try at home. When we're thinking about connections, who do I already know? Make sure you list out your top 3 people that you're like, yeah, these people are connected. I know them. Get on your LinkedIn. If you don't have a profile, get one. It's free. Get on your Facebooks. All right. Get on the Instas. Who do I already know? Who do I want to know? And this is a super important list. Who are the 3 people you want to know? In this hashtag COVID-19 life, everyone's online. So I bet you could slide into someone's DM and ask them if they want to get a virtual coffee. And I bet they would take you up on it. And who can get you more connected? So who are those people that are just maybe in your friend group and they're always like, yeah, I know this lady. Yeah, I know this guy. Yeah, I know these people. Yeah, they would love to hook you up. You guys would totally work well together. Oh yeah, I should connect you. Who are those people? And have you told them your story? Have you told them where you want to be? Have you told them your dreams and your values? Have you told them about your brand? Really write down 3 for each of these answers and spend this time while we're all inside and do some homework, do some research, and put the ask out there. This is Katrina Frye from Mischief Managed. I'm at Mischief Managed Arts. I've really enjoyed getting to know you. I know this was like a speed round, but I hope it was helpful, and I hope to see you in real life. All right, catch ya.